Hello, everyone. This is Robert from Book of Mormon Editions, where we discuss printings, publications, and various editions of the Book of Mormon. Sometimes when we go through various Book of Mormon reviews, we've seen that the versing systems have not always been the same. So in reading a Book of Mormon from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the versing and chapter breaks are different compared to something outside of Salt Lake, such as reading a Community of Christ volume. And wouldn't you guess, there are some other versing systems from historical books that are different than both of these two examples. So this next volume that we'll review today discusses, identifies, and differentiates the various versing's and chapters found within the Book of Mormon publications. This is the Book of Mormon, a comparative edition, a private publication credited to Lincoln B. Fulmer. This is a softcover 8.5 by 11 volume that's about an inch thick and published recently in 2023. In order to appreciate this volume, some background is needed. A reminder that when the Book of Mormon was printed in 1830, it was in novel form, no versing. The paragraphs were quite long and an occasional chapter breaks within the various book sections. For example, the book of 1 Nephi had 7 chapters to the text. This formatting continued throughout Joseph Smith's life and onward through many of the first prints and reprints. This wasn't changed until 1852, where a volume was printed in Great Britain and is credited to Franklin D. Richards. In this 1852 volume, the paragraphs were numbered, and in a sense, this added verse numbers. Once again, the paragraphs and chapters were the original breaks, but now had a numbering system. What's interesting is that in 1874, the reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints published their volume and used this same versing system, keeping the original chapter breaks and numbering the paragraphs into verses. Then, in 1879, Orson Pratt overhauled the formatting of the Salt Lake editions of the Book of Mormon. He split the chapters into smaller sections and set a new versing system. So instead of 7 chapters in 1 Nephi, there were 22. This is the versing system that is still used within the Salt Lake printings, even used today, which is recognized by most readers of the Book of Mormon. However, in 1908, the RLDS Church published a new volume that kept the original chapter breaks but versified every sentence. This is continued for the RLDS and Community of Christ volumes since then. For example, 1 Nephi still has 7 chapters, but just like the original, but now has 70 verses. So it seems that there are 3 main versing systems that became benchmarks within the Book of Mormon printing. The first is this 1852 volume that versified the paragraphs, the 1879 Salt Lake update that made smaller chapter and versing's, and then the 1908 RLDS versing that versified every sentence. So now we come back to this volume called The Book of Mormon, a Comparative Edition. This volume has the text of the Book of Mormon, but has a numbering system to identify the various versing systems. This is done by coloring the various versing's, where the 1830 chapter breaks are set in black, the 1854 paragraph versing is done in red, the 1879 Salt Lake versing is done in blue, and the RLDS versification is done in green numbering. This is pretty useful because you can verbally read the Book of Mormon and use this system to reference the differences between the versing systems. I would imagine that if you are researching quotes from church leaders from either Salt Lake or RLDS Community of Christ, where they reference various passages of scriptures, you can find the alternative versification system to study more on that. So I've seen a multi-page document where the versification references is compared between the Salt Lake and RLDS publications, but this comparative edition actually has the text of the Book of Mormon included. I found this volume impressive for this feature, that you can actually read the text of the Book of Mormon and see the 3 versification systems all together. So this volume is available at lulu.com, and I've seen it on eBay also. Either way, this is recently published in 2023 by Lincoln B. Fulmer, and is useful in determining the various versing systems within the Book of Mormon. As always, thanks everyone for continuing with the Book of Mormon reviews. I'm reminded that I'm a family man first and try to get these reviews out as best as possible within the time frame allowed. So if you have a specific or unique volume of the Book of Mormon that you'd like reviewed here, please contact me at bomeditions@gmail.com. Best wishes, everyone.